Welcome to the Solopreneur Academy Podcast. This is a podcast for entrepreneurs who want to make more impact and income in less time. I'm your host, Megan, and throughout each episode, you'll learn how to create the lifestyle and legacy you want as you grow. Hello, dear friends, and welcome back to the Solopreneur Academy Podcast. Today, we're going to be talking all about how to get more visible at a one-to-many level where you're going to be pitching yourself to other businesses. Now, this is kind of like a rendition that I'm adding on here because one of the things that I ended up leading a visibility challenge for the people that are in my programs for is the main reason is they don't have enough followers. They don't have enough people following them. They don't have enough people in their audience, and they need to get in front of more eyes in order to actually convert humans. There is a ton that you can do with your current audience, and you can get a lot of referrals from friends and family. But I'm going to talk about why you need to be pitching yourself to get in front of more people, how to actually find the right people to reach out to create these opportunities, and the things that I recommend for my masterminders to get them out there and get them more people in their audience. So here is the first piece. Why do you need to be pitching yourself to get out there more? And what I would recommend is pitching yourself for a presentation. I would be pitching you leading a group of people. So why is this important? I want you to imagine the level of credibility that you get as a current person that is posting is great. You're getting credibility because you're actually talking to your audience. You are relying on your past experiences. You're building that know, like, and trust factor, and that's amazing. But if you want to hit six figures, we want to make it statistically inevitable for you to do so. So if we think about what most six-figure businesses that I work with is, I mostly work with people who are online-based business owners that are working with people at the one-to-one level. So let's say you have an offer, and let's say it's like a 5K offer. In order for you to hit six figures, you need to coach 20 people throughout the year in order to make that happen. So what I'm doing is I'm dividing $100,000 divided by $5,000, which could be a package, and that would be 20 people for the year. Let's say your offer is a 6-month offer. That would mean 10 people in the first half of the year and 10 people in the second half of the year, which if you're trying to bring in 100K during the school day, it's very important that you are able to actually fit it into school day hours. I would say around 15 clients would be where you want to be fully booked with one-on-one clients. So if you did that and we divided that, that's around $100,000 divided by 15 or divided by 2 is 50K. And then we divide that by 15 people. That's around a $3,000 package. So if you, 3,333. So you could also charge $3,333 for a 6-month package, which is around $500 a month, around $125 to 100, I think it's 133 technically a session. But then that actually breaks out to a very scalable business and is totally doable during school hours. You can do this while you're raising your family, but 10 to 15 clients, I would say, is what you need to get fully booked. And if you are looking for 10 to 15 clients, again, 15 clients at a 3K price range, around 10 clients for a 5K price range, then you need 20 to 30 people a year, 20 to 30 one-on-one clients a year in order to hit six figures. So that really isn't that crazy. When you think about it, it just requires you to have demand. And why I recommend that you pitch yourself for business to business opportunities is, especially in front of speaking engagements, if you are already working the regular machine of your business, getting posts out consistently, talking to new people as much as you can, you're already going to be setting yourself up really well for success. You're already going to have all these awesome people that are going to be coming to you that are going to be working with you. But if you want to bring in volume, if you want to bring in more humans, you want to get in front of audiences of people that you can help, which is why in the Six Figure Scaling Mastermind, I have my clients do business to business partnerships where they pitch themselves to people because giving yourself credibility on your platform alone is great. But for you to be elevated, in a room of people that you could help and actually tell them tangible ways that you can help them, it just takes you from good to great. And when I realized that I was like, I knew I wanted my business to bring in six figures from the get-go. I knew I was like, yes, I don't want to just have something where I have just a few clients. I really wanted this to be something that was substantial, where I was really helping people, and that was always my intention and my goal. So when I was bringing in my business in my first year full time, when I hit 120K in 2022, I knew I needed to get in front of more people. I had really worked my audience. I had talked to all the businesses and told them to be referral partners that were my current audience members. I had talked to all my friends and family and asked them for referrals. I had gone through and anyone that was a new follower, which weren't as many people. Like I really didn't get a lot of followers. I still don't get a ton of new followers every single week, but I still got people that were coming in that I was talking with and that I was excited to like create these awesome relationships with. So what I did is I knew I needed to build my audience. I needed to get in front of more people. And I also knew that I would need to pitch myself for a lot of people to create these opportunities, to create these speaking engagements for myself. So, in order to get more followers and get more visible, I decided that I was going to reach out to 102 different organizations. I thought about people I could help. And the way that I did this is I thought about groups of people I could help that were already gathered. And then I also thought about what would be a topic that would be interesting to them that I've already done. As like, if you listen to episode 105 of the podcast, I talked about monthly sales events, but something that maybe I've already done that I could pitch to other people. So the things that the three ones that I did that were like the main three, where I did one about 10-year plans. I did one that was about, um, that was the biggest one, the 10-year plan one. I did one about taking back your time and about calendaring balloons for that. And then I also did one that was about making decisions. I think, oh, and I also had one about overwhelm. So I had like something about like overcoming overwhelm where I was talking about how to rewire your stress responses. So those were the four that I was thinking about doing. I had done them already as webinars for my audience. And I was like, okay, let's pitch this to groups of people. How can I get in front of more humans? And in 2022, I had a niche to be a business coach. I was a general life coach. So I was thinking about who would be a good fit for these four presentations. And again, it helps to have done those presentations before, to have that in my back pocket that I had already done the 10-year plan one. I had done the confidently making career decisions. I did one about overcoming overwhelm, and I did one about the I'm going to forget one every time, guys. Pregnancy brain. Am I right? But there was another one that I did. It was about 10-year plan, career decisions, overcoming overall. Oh, take it back your time. So I thought about who would be a good fit for these presentations. And as a general coach, I was like, who could use support and who I know is already gathering? And I immediately, of course, I'm wearing red today, thought back to my alma mater, NC State. And I was like, I know that there are professors that are out there. They have it was called first year college. I don't remember what it's called. They changed the name. But when I was in school, it was called first year college, where there were kids that had students that had undecided majors. I also knew there were clubs and organizations like sororities, and I was in a sorority. We're cooler than they say, but I was in a sorority back in the day. So I was like, you know what? I bet I could lead this presentation for all these for classes for this first year college and then for the sororities, and I could pitch this to them and see what sticks. So what I did is I literally went out and I thought about, okay, first and foremost, I need to find a person who was a decision maker. So I knew that for like, obviously, I could directly reach out to the professors, but I needed to figure out who was actually leading the first year college program. And then I also needed to figure out who was actually in the sororities, what part of the sorority, because I know when I was in school, I was the new member educator. So I was like, maybe the new members need it. I knew that there was also somebody who was typically in charge of events. They have different names throughout the different organizations, but I was like, okay, I have to go and find them. So I went in and I did this in a pretty quick time frame. I think I did this over the course of a week. So this is something you can do this week to get more visibility, more opportunities on your plate. And I would recommend doing it now as soon as possible. Whenever you listen to this, if you listen to this at another time of the year, it's fine. But a lot of times people are planning in the spring things for the summer and the fall and the winter. So it's a perfect time to reach out to people is right now. And that's what I would recommend for you guys. So what I would do is I went in and I thought about, okay, we need to find a list of organizations, then we need to find a list of decision makers, and then we need to have a pitch. We need to have something that we ask them about. And my goal was to get them on a 30-minute call to talk with them about what I was going to be doing for them, see if they'd be interested, and set a time for us to actually, for me to deliver this workshop. So what I did is I went in and I made a list of every organization that I made a list of all the sororities. Then I made a list of the people who were in the first year college program. And then I made a list of professors. And I went in and I wrote down the organization. Then I made a little spreadsheet. So you guys can make this too. And if you look in the show notes, I will include this like as like a little table in the worksheet for you guys. But I had organization, point person, date reached out, last follow up, notes. Super simple. And that was what the titles of each column had. And I just went through and I wrote a little pitch. And my pitch said the first reason why I was contacting them. And I gave the link. So I said, hey, I'm Megan. I graduated from NC State in 2016. I had to think about that for a second, but I graduated from NC State in 2016. And then I said, if I was a sorority, I said like my connection. I was in a sorority back in the day. And I wasn't in first year college, but I just said, hey, this is my connection to you. Then I said, I would love to do a presentation for your community, whether it was the class that I was speaking to a professor about, whether it was the first year college, I was like, for your first year college students, or I said like for your sorority. I would love to do a presentation on this. And I gave them an example. So for me, I did the 10-year plan presentation for people that were seniors. I was like, let's think beyond seniors. I know they had to do like a certain amount of senior events. So I was like, I would love to do a presentation for your organization. An idea that I had was pitch the specific thing, speaking to your seniors potentially about 10-year plans, or I'm open to a bunch of, it's like I'm open to speaking about whatever you want, whatever you need. I went in and spoke about that. And then I said, please let me know if you'd be interested. Let's do a 30-minute Zoom call where we can talk about logistics, if this is a good fit, or if we need to do a different presentation. I'm free this week or next. If you don't see any times, let me know. Otherwise, I look forward to hearing from you and meeting you soon. That's simple. So you have to find the point person and their contact, connect with them. You have to have a pitch idea and you have to give it relevancy for them and urgency for them to actually act. So I gave them the type of person I was looking to work with in the first year of college and in this the career studies classrooms. What I did is I said, hey, I want to do this confidently making career decisions presentation for you guys. Let me know if this works for you. So those were, and I was like, hey, just let me know if you're able to meet. Let's talk. So I messaged 102 organizations, people in the organizations. I messaged a ton of them. And For me, I knew that this was a numbers game. And I was like, let's just reach out to all of the people. I just want to get there speaking. And for me, speaking, I think, is not a necessity to be a six-figure earner. However, I do think it's a really great skill set if you want to add that to your repertoire because it just gives you so much credibility. It gives you opportunities to get in front of people. And it also can create a very fast connection with people. So I think that those are the reasons why I think that if you do like to speak or if you want to develop that skill, it's definitely worth doing if you want to scale to six and beyond six figures. So what I did is I went in and I pitched all these people. And again, this is something that, and I'll talk about like how you can actually apply this to your weekly schedule. But for me, I was like, I know this is worth doing. And I think I reached out to all 102 of them within like 2 to 3 days. It did not take me long to do this. And I want to set realistic expectations. They don't know me. I didn't have an in. If I like knew of a friend and family member that was maybe a part of an organization that I like, um, I live in Raleigh, which is close to the Research Triangle Park. So I could have reached out to like my friends and family that I knew were in like larger organizations like SAS, IBM. A lot of them are headquartered here. So I could have like reached out to them as well and been like, hey, I would love to do a Take Back Your Time presentation, but this is the one I focused on. It was like just the organizations. And I went to NC State. I was living in Winston-Salem at the time. So I also reached out to people who were in Wake Forest University, Elon, and UNC and Duke. So I reached out to those five schools and I was like, hey, this is what I do. Reached out to a ton of people and I heard back from three. I heard back from one professor at NC State that was in the College of Career Studies. I heard back from the NC State's uh, exploratory studies. That's what it is. It was the first year college person. And then I heard back from one of the sororities. I was like, great, this is fantastic. We're going to double down on these opportunities. And that's fine. So when I met with the person who did the career studies class, I was only able to get one presentation with them, but I knew that if I like got some pictures, if I got some like it would be worthwhile to do. So I pitched the professor. I said, hey, I would love to come in and speak about competently making career decisions. So I did that one. And then from there, I think I posted about it. And one of my so this is what I mean by like compounding results. When you put the energy in there, yes, I reached out to 102 people. I heard back from three. So that means I got 99 no's. So you have to be very just ready to play the numbers game and just be ready to go for it. But because I posted about it, one of my other professors from elementary ed had me do another presentation for her seniors that I did the Take Back Your Time for. So just because I got that one foot in the door, I posted a picture of me teaching this class and it got me another opportunity. I went in and then I went to the College of the Exploratory Studies, the first year college people that were undecided majors. And for her, I was like, hey, I know you need to have something monthly. I can do one about overcoming overwhelm. I can do one about career decisions, and I can do one about the 10-year plan. So I pitched her doing three, and she was like, sure, we could use the people. We don't have speakers yet. So I did three different presentations just for them. And then for the sorority, I did the 10-year plan one for one of the sororities for the seniors. And I actually did it I wanted to make it fun for them. So I did it at a local bar and they were seniors so they could drink and they had charcuterie board. They like did all this like fun stuff. And we ended up doing that at this organization because they did it. One of their friends was in a different sorority and they were like, hey, and I was actually in Cayo and I didn't actually hear back from them, but I ended up hearing back from other sororities. So I was like, great, no worries. So then I ended up doing it for another sorority and I did it for the whole sorority. But like those opportunities created the first initial three opportunities. I either made that opportunity compound to another similar adjacent opportunity. I doubled down on the opportunity, or I used word of mouth to get more exposure. From there, I posted about it, and one of my clients was in an insurance sales position, and he was like, "Can you come and do a presentation for my organization?" So then I did a presentation for them. I posted a picture of that. And then one of my former sorority sisters was like, "Hey, I'm in this networking group called Women in Television and Communications. It's for people in New York City. Would you be willing to do a presentation for them?" And I was like, absolutely. So then I did a presentation for them. But that got me so much exposure, that got me pictures and videos of me speaking. I ended up for a women's organization. I did another 10-year plan. This was like right when Rob and I first started dating, and he got a chance to come to it, and I did it in person. I did things that were virtual, but it opened a lot of doors for me. And if you are the kind of person that's sitting there and is like, "I do not have enough opportunities. I know I need to get in front of more people." I first and foremost want you to like actually talk with your audience, your current audience. But I do think that if you need more people in your audience, pitching yourself for business to business presentations is a perfect way to do that. Now, what I would recommend, again, to make sure that you're fitting in this, reaching out to people in like tiny pockets of the day, especially if you're a parent, like I'm about to be, I'm going to need to. I still am going to be pitching myself for presentations. I don't even think just like a 6-figure skill. I think it's a 7-figure skill for you to get on different podcasts, get on different, like actually speak to different organizations. So for me, I'm writing out a pitch. I'm thinking about who would be a good fit. And then one of my days of outreach, I'm going to actually be seeking out these business to business presentations as a actual goal of mine to get more opportunities this year. So you can think about it like that. Like, hey, I want to get more opportunities. You can set a goal for yourself for a number of presentations. You could do what I'm doing and just be like, I would like to get more exposure. It doesn't necessarily have to have a goal. But for you, if you are looking to not just really like build out your initial client base, but if you're wanting to hit 6 and multiple 6 figures for years to come, business to business presentations are a phenomenal way to do that. So in the show notes, I will include the worksheet that I talked about a little bit in here. You guys now know my personal story. It's a numbers game. You got to be willing to face the rejection. But when you're able to do that, it really does set you up to scale. So again, download the link in my show notes. See if you email us if you have any questions. And I can't wait to see you in the next episode of the Solopreneur Academy podcast coming up next week.
Did you know that 89% of people need to see a testimonial in order to buy? Get my free testimonial template using the link in the show notes, and you'll see exactly how I used testimonials to market my business as it grew to 120K in my first year full-time and multiple 6 figures every year after that. Thank you so much again for listening, and I can't wait to see you on the next episode of the Solopreneur Academy Podcast.